Mike Sobczak is here, but before we introduce him, subs. Subscribe to the YouTube, like and follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube, and then tell your friends too. And then don't forget to make your fake Instagram account, or no, your fake Google account, and then make a second YouTube account, and then subscribe a second time. Because that's like what we're gonna need to. We're gonna have to play dirty here to get to 1,000 YouTube subscribers. Right. So we have Mike Sobczak, training for Warriors in Doylestown, right? You're right on 611, right there.
Yeah, up in Plumstead.
Oh, okay,
up in Plumstead.
That's Plumstead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that wasn't. We weren't in Plumstead 7 years ago.
Damn. Well, how long have you been doing like this gym?
So about 2014.
Okay.
So we started at the Plumstead Firehouse. I really didn't have, I had this idea, and TFW is like an international organization. So when I wanted to kind of open my affiliate, you know, I went through all the checks and processes and stuff. And then I didn't really have a space, and I was kind of doing it at the Y. So I was a trainer at the Y for a hot minute. And I said to them, hey, I got this really great thing. I'd really love to be able to bring it to the members.
So training for Warriors is a platform, kind of? How would you describe that?
I would say it's a network.
Okay.
You know, like there's 275 affiliates around the world. So, like, the great part is when everything happened this year, we all banded together to give every single person's facility a Zoom class. So you could do a Zoom class at TFW Brooklyn. You could do a Zoom class at TFW Minnesota. Like, we all banded together to help everybody continue with their fitness regardless of what was going on.
And that came together pretty quickly?
Yeah.
That's cool.
The system's been in existence for the last 20 years. So it was founded by Martin Rooney. Okay. So Martin's been one of the top 50 most influential people in fitness for a long time now. So the whole system was originally created for mixed martial artists and combat athletes. So a lot of what we do, like, we don't really work on like striking or anything like that. It's lifting, it's training, it's exercise, it's conditioning. So originally when I had brought this idea to the Y, they were like, no.
Young Men's Christian Association didn't want to fighting.
And I was like, no, but you don't understand. I'm like, no, this is like this. There's something different about it. There's something really unique.
Yeah.
And they go, no, we want you to do boot camp. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, we could just call it boot camp.
Yeah, that's right. Pretty much what they kept calling it, boot camp. I kept calling it training for Warriors to everybody that was coming in. So
You're just like the fight of the names.
Yeah.
Just passive aggressive and shit.
Pretty much. Like, because there was just something like that I believed so much in it.
Yeah, like you were the organization, you were passionate about the organization and what it could offer.
And plus, you know, back then, 2008, I had ACL surgery.
Okay.
I played lacrosse in college and got nasty hit, completely torn, partial LCL tear, and I have like 20% meniscus on one side.
Damn.
So you got hit with your foot planted?
Oh, no, I got top and bottom.
Oh.
Okay. So you got separated.
Yeah, I'm a big guy running down the field with a big stick, and that was like the code to murder.
That's a code right there.
Yeah,
just big guy, big stick, like murder. So they hit me, and idiot me, I wound up playing for like 6 more months.
On that.
Not thinking, like, not trying to be tough.
Damn.
Just like, oh, I'm
it is
okay.
what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's my senior year. So when I finally decided to get the surgery.
That's what the mustache would do, though. That's why you have the mustache, right?
Why?
Well, I mean, because like somebody with a mustache would do something like that.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Tape it up.
Rub the Tylenol on it, went back. So then I wound up putting on like 50, 60 pounds. I was in a bad place.
You bulked up.
No, I was fat. Like Sobczak wound up turning into fat check.
What's Sobczak right now? What are you wearing?
As of yesterday, 207.
Okay.
So I like to think that's fighting weight.
That's a dense human being.
That's 10 pounds of crap in a 2-pound bag.
Dude, 207. Look at like he's not like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I went up 170.
Yeah.
207.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Thanks.
Yeah. So then, and that's what made me believe in TFW, because I saw what it could do for, like, one of Martin's first books had an 8-week program in the back. So I followed it.
And what was the first book? You read the book, and then the program was at the end. And what was that book about?
It was not like a crazy read. It was just like, hey, this is what a triangle is in mixed martial arts. Hey, these are stretches that mixed martial artists do before they train. Like, it was nothing like
revolutionary.
Yeah, but it was the approach and the presentation of it, and then I followed everything at the back of the book. And I was like, oh my God, I'm like losing weight. And I always wanted to do
this stuff is working.
This is working. Like, there's no secret thing here. Like, I was really training. Like, and then the weight just started coming off, and I was like, oh my God, I need more of this in my life. And went and got like the certificate. And I was a personal trainer at the time. Like, I have my, ACE and XYZ and all the.
What year is this now? When the year you read the book, and
the year I read the book was probably like 2009, 2010. Like,
so pretty soon after.
Yeah.
There wasn't like this like miserable path of like Sobczak going downhill. It was like you were just overweight for a little while, and then you knew you needed to make a change.
Yeah, by miserable, I would say I partied any day that ended in Y.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was.
That's every day, Gilmore.
That's every day. Correct.
That was tough. And because I was just trying to find, like, I don't know, like
something to do.
And because I couldn't do anything, and I didn't have the knowledge that I had. I didn't know how to train. And, 2012, I went and got 2010, I got my personal trainer certification, because I was like, oh man, I'm losing weight. Like, I think I could help people do this too. 2011, 2012, like November, I had just met my now wife.
Okay.
So she was like, hey, do you want to hang out this weekend? I was like, I can't. I'm going to Jersey.
So she asked you out.
Oh, no. I met my wife at Stephanie's.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if anybody needs context, then you don't know what Stephanie's is.
I know what Stephanie's is.
I don't know what Stephanie's is.
It's just kind of, have you ever been to Drinkers in the city? I don't know.
It's just like a nightclub.
Your feet stick to the floor.
It's just like just a Doylestown
like a
college
dog
bar. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I've been to some college bars.
We're going up to Stephanie's. I'd be like, dude, count me out, dude. Stop at Wawa. I'm dipping.
Yeah. You don't go there until like 11:30.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like, you're like just borderline sloppy.
So like dollar beer nights and shit.
No, just
No.
bad
Doylestown's bad decisions.
Just bad shit.
Like seeing girls you went to like high school with, being like, oh, you look good.
I haven't seen you in so long.
You definitely haven't gained weight.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, your neck.
These are the nicest triceps I've ever seen.
Oh my god, are you still with? What was her name? It's be like, bitch, you went to fucking kindergarten with her.
Yeah,
you know her
what?
name.
We're Facebook friends. You know exactly what I'm doing.
You liked the picture of us 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's where I met my wife. But so I was like, I'm going to Jersey to get this like training for warrior certification.
All right.
So I went, got it. It was everything I wanted, and I wanted to bring it to the forefront. So now we're at like 2012.
So Training for Warriors is kind of like a mobile organization network that can go like they hold these certifications to kind of like give you accreditation to open up a facility under their brand.
Yeah. So like back in the day when Martin was doing, like events.
What's his name again? Let's pull him up on the thing.
Martin Rooney.
Martin Rooney. I want to see what this dude looks like. See if he has a mustache too.
He doesn't, but he has great flow right now with his hair. Because he grew it out the entire pin.
Is this guy?
Yeah.
He's got a crazy fighting stance. He's on the Twitter. Oh, man.
He's on the Twitter speed. Oh.
So.
You don't want to miss what's happening.
That's fine. Well, this is Martin Rooney.
So
guys.
you got this training certification.
Yeah.
In like 2012 then?
Yeah. So like that's Jim Miller.
The powerlifter.
No, he's has the most winningest record right now in UFC for lightweight, I think his class is.
Who's this?
Jim Miller.
Yeah, but isn't that the dude who's fighting Sean Brady coming up? Who's Sean Brady fighting coming up soon? Something Lee. I think Sean Brady's for Mike Lee.
He's not fighting Jake Paul.
Sean Brady would start
Jake Matthews?
No. It's coming up. Whatever.
So Martin would do these events, certify people under the brand. And, you know, you have to obviously so our place, look, it's all black and gold. Mm. It's minted out. It's not purple and whatever, saying it's something it's not. So got that certification, then joined the affiliate network, which is what we have now. So we hopped around a while.
To different locations.
Yeah, because it just made some bad decisions.
Well, it's hard. We have Kevin Lee, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's coming up. It's hard. We had a buddy of mine who started a fitness type thing, Mitch Black. Mm-hmm. He's like Blackout Training. It's a mobile training thing.
Okay. And
what was cool about his business, or still exists as such, is there's no physical location. So like if he ever were to go to physical, like he's already built up a following.
He has the culture
to warrant which location he would need to get. So it probably suited you long term to have to like inconveniently bounce around like that. Unfortunately, but fortunately.
Yeah, I mean it sucked because you know when we were doing it at the firehouse, we had to like put stuff away, like 100-pound mats, like stall mats, like bringing.
Oh, it's a workout.
Yeah,
it's a workout, like getting ready to work out.
Yeah, and I had no business loans. Like I just kind of like scrapped everything together with the job that I was at the time.
Yeah, what kind of jobs did you work?
Odd jobs.
We're gonna need more of these for that.
Yeah.
So
you kept your clothes on?
I had them ripped off a couple of times. I wish that was a good story. What was that?
Yo, Gover's got all his little sound effects over there all set up.
So I was working at a place that will remain nameless that's across from Del Val.
Okay.
Which is a behavioral health center. Mm. So I was there for 10 years.
Oh, no shit.
So 2000.
So is that what you went to college for?
No, I went to college to be a cop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I tore my ACL, and I was actually accepted to the police academy back in Jersey.
Oh.
So I was going to go back home. I was going to grow up in be a cop in the town that I grew up in, and that's what they wanted. The hometown heroes, and
it looks good.
Yeah. And it was tough because then the girl I was dating at the time, I was like, had not heard from her for like months, like just completely ghosted me before ghosting was a thing.
Yeah, this is just around when Facebook's like just starting to happen.
Dude, I remember when Del Val actually had to get permission from Facebook because it was a Division III school. So they had to seek approval from Facebook.
To be like, hey, can you guys let us in?
Yeah, pretty much. like we were the kids trying to get into the frat party. That like, nah, there's too many dudes here.
Only Phi Beta Kappa in here.
Phi Beta Kappa.
So, yeah, like, it was just 2009 is when I started working at that place, and then I found out after a year I found out they had a school, and I was like, oh man, I mean I could like work in a school and get like paid summers off, and like get vacation, like summer vacation, winter vacation, all that stuff. Sign me up. So I started working there as like a instructional assistant. I have no idea what I'm doing. I can't count to 25 unless there's a barbell involved. So they wind up like grooming me to like be what was considered a behavior manager, which was it sounds cool. Sounds like there's a lot of responsibility. No,
sounds like rear naked chokes.
Pretty much. So it's pretty much like I got called to a classroom to either ask or remove a student from the classroom if they were misbehaving. And you can only get punched in the face so many times without wanting to punch. Like, you can't punch back before you're like, need a new job. And the school was growing, and they were getting bigger cases, and I wound up working with the autism population specifically, which it was great. I loved the kids. I really did. You know, like, we did dumb stuff when we were kids, and that's why a lot of them were there. And I felt like I could help them. But it was the people who I worked for was trash.
Yeah.
Like, by year 8, I was in such a miserable place, I actually had to go, like, talk to a therapist. I was, like, taking it out on my wife. I was taking it out at the gym was growing at that point.
Okay, so you were doing both.
I was trying to
2 feet in both boats.
Yep. I was trying to build the brand while making as much money as I could to supply that and figure out where I needed to go.
Yes, but so at that point, did you see the light in the tunnel for your business?
I saw it. My wife, God bless her, wasn't ready to take that leap yet.
And what did your wife have? Did she work? Did she?
Yeah, so right now she's actually director for her company for HR, which is awesome. She got that promotion the beginning of this year.
Wow.
But she's been there for like 15 years.
Okay.
So back then, and my son was probably like maybe 2 at the time.
Oh, so you had young children, or
Yeah,
young son. So there's kind of like some added stress there. Then
yeah, so it was like, it's not the right time, and I'm like, if we don't do this soon, something's gonna happen.
Yeah,
and I'm just not gonna be in a good spot.
Mustache is gonna go.
Yeah. Hey, the mustache is new. Like, back
it's gotta
then,
stay.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think it is.
It's gotta stay.
Yeah.
I think we should
It
do
works.
a vote.
It works.
So she, it was a 2-year conversation. So, and actually 2 years ago, around this time, was pretty much my exit, and I got to quit in the most spectacular fashion, like YouTube style.
Well, like a glitter bomb or something.
I wish there were glitter bombs back then.
Walk us through it though. What happened?
So, so when I quit, it was like in April.
Okay.
Now, I still had April, May, June. I had 3 months left because I was a contracted employee. So I was getting yelled at over the phone by my absentee supervisor, who obviously all absentee supervisors know what you're doing. They know exactly. They really don't, because they're never there. So why do they get to stand on a foot if they're not even there to judge you, except they're going to judge you in the 30-second window when they're actually in front of you? So I was struggling a lot with that. Like, I was trying to be a leader, and I couldn't lead because somebody was telling me, no, you have to follow to lead. What a back-ass mentality that was. Right? Like, sometimes you
don't lead from the back.
You don't lead.
You lead from the front. Like, it and at the time, I bought into it. And my supervisor was yelling at me over the phone, and I had already gotten his approval to leave to go to a doctor's appointment. Nobody knew it, that the doctor was actually the therapist. It's just not something I'm going to tell my boss. I don't feel comfortable telling you that.
Yeah.
You guys always tell you, let us know what you need to help.
Not your business.
Yeah, it's not your business. So finally, the new principal puts the phone on mute, and he goes, hey, can you change this? And I looked at him. I was like, dude, I can't. I've been seeing a therapist for like over a year now. And he was like, oh my God. And he was like, no, you can't change it. I was like, no, I can't. So finally, my supervisor's yelling at me. I picked up my keys, and I pulled my phone. I was like, fuck this place. Fuck you. I fucking quit. I'm so tired of your hypocritical shit. And I just went off. I threw my keys down, and I walked out the door. And I was like, I just quit. I made a mistake. I did it too soon. Like, my wife and I already agreed that at the end of that year, I was going to quit.
Yeah.
And instead, because you can only push somebody so far until.
Oh, no, yeah, for sure. You're human.
Yeah. So I called my stepfather and my stepfather's a retired cop. He worked in the Morris County Jail. And I go, dude, you want to go get lunch? He goes, what? Aren't you at work? And I was like, I just quit. He goes, oh, yeah, where do you want to go? And coming from a jail guard, the stories that I told him, he said that the jail was more tame.
Damn.
Jeez. Well, it's like you'll probably appreciate what you're doing now for eternity because you kind of came from like such a low position in terms of your feeling about things, I guess. I've never been in a position necessarily like where I worked for someone where you couldn't get done what you were trying to do or even like perform at the level. Like it's got to be oppressive feeling because I've always been in a position where if like the sky's the limit. Like if you want to work that hard, like go for it. Yeah,
and that was like I was trying to lead. I was trying to be positive. I tell everybody, like every day everybody comes in the gym, I tell them a story. Something motivational, something that you can kind of look at life in a perspective and be like, oh, man, that's right. And that year, all these stories were just running through my head. And I was like, I'm not practicing what I preach. Like, I'm not sitting there going, the story about the monkey knot, right? Where these hunters were trying to catch these monkeys, and what they would do is they would tie this knot around a vase or like a bottle. And when the monkeys would put their hands in to get the food in the bottle, the knot would cinch down and it would stay there. The more they struggled, the tighter the knot get. The way to get out of it, all the monkeys had to do was let go. And that story kept going through me like, all I got to do is let go of this stuff. Like the stuff that's holding me back, like I'm tired. And finally, like when I said I quit, that was the day where I was like, I'm free.
You're a free monkey.
I'm free. Yeah. And that was like, so like this tattoo, this dragon, we tell a story where.
That's a badass dragon.
Yeah, that's a dope ass dragon.
So it took me a while to find a tattoo artist out here.
Who did that?
So Ray Petty at Cosmic Primate. It's my guy. Because I was getting ink done from my fraternity brother's sister up in North Jersey.
Fraternity brother's sister?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I had to make sure.
So he originally did this. So Ray did this cardinal for me. This is for my grandmother. And I told him I wanted something unique because my grandmother passed away at that time. So he put her handwriting on a letter, and it was this really nice thing, but he made it like kind of masculine looking. Because a lot of people get cardinals, but I told him I wanted something like this. So then we kept the theme going with this. It's just that like trashy polka, like
very few people know what trash polka like that style even is.
Yeah, and I bring
it. I think I brought it up to you.
Yeah,
I want to get some nasty on my back.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it so much. And I told him, I was like, dude, the story of the dragon is basically in old times when people, Pirates of the Caribbean, they put dragons all over the maps to show people where not to go because there was danger or people didn't come back. So in order to move forward or try to overcome an obstacle, you have to slay your dragon. So when I quit my job...
Damn.
So when I quit my job, that was the biggest, ugliest dragon that had been staring me down for the last, especially the 2 years of that 10-year. But I was tired of being held back. I was tired of being caged. I was tired of being told what to do and what decisions to make, and my judgment was never good enough for them.
You didn't ultimately have any control over like whether or not you moved up or down.
No, and I had gone to them several times like, hey, I want to get this training for active shooters. I'm worried about the staff. Oh, we don't need that. Well, why don't we need that? Oh, because I am. You're never here. So if you're trained to be in like an active shooter drill, but you're never here and our staff has never been, I was trying to make myself more valuable. Mm-hmm. And then I finally realized like, no, I am valuable. Why am I still trying to prove myself to you people? I'm done. I'm done proving myself to you.
Yeah, it's so weird to me because I try to, with like our team, I always try to kind of just see people that have a lot of opportunity potential and give that to them or put them in a position where they can see that as well. And it's so frustrating to me when someone has all the tools to be successful or do it and they just like don't have it for whatever reason. Like they just don't want it or they just don't have that extra gear to go into.
Yeah.
So when I hear someone at another job or someone else that's like really wants to get after it and they're just like roadblocks, it's like, do you know what I would do to have just one more person like that?
Yeah.
So I don't know. But we're in like the entrepreneur space, so like we thrive on people like that, maybe in education and like the bureaucratic kind of land set. It just doesn't, that stuff can prevail because people just.
It's and I cared so much for the people that I worked with.
Yeah.
That like at the end of the day, I wound up doing my job just so they felt better about themselves.
Because like you were just kind of like their security blanket in a way.
Yeah, and nobody from the administrative level cared. It was always
the administration's was like an offsite kind of thing.
No, they were upstairs.
Oh, they were just on the second floor.
Yeah, in an office, and they would come down once in a while.
Interesting.
Let's go down to the first floor.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh,
let's see what the goblins are doing.
there's a tour coming. Make sure nobody is throwing any fits whatsoever. How am I going to do that?
Yeah.
Just going around putting people in sleeper holes.
Just knocked up.
Well, he's napping.
Dude, we can have
napping.
Bernie's.
He's napping too.
Yeah.
No, we can have Bernie's every kid.
Yeah.
Just like-
Mr. Mike, make sure that this person does not act out today. Tour comes through and I'm getting a table thrown at me.
Jesus.
Sorry. Couldn't help it. I'm not kidding, like a table.
That's crazy.
We always do this on Tuesdays.
Yeah, it's Table Tuesdays.
This was in the plan. It's in your handbook.
I've had like 2 knives pulled on me
Oh, shit.
at the school, like, and you can't. I'm not armed.
Yeah.
I'm like,
What do you do at that point?
the one time I was lucky enough where I had a door, like I was very situationally aware of what's going on. So I had like positioned myself near a door. So if he did lunge at me, I was just slamming. It was
Lights out, buddy.
yeah. And I was one of the people that was like, I would train everybody how to do the corporate, restraints. But there is a certain point where if it's you or whatever,
Judged by 12, carried by 6.
yeah, you have to watch out for yourself.
Yeah.
And that was that. And then I had another time, like somebody was like, so somebody might have a gun on the bus. You need to go look. Why am I the sacrificial lamb? Why do I have to go look?
Nice, dude.
I literally
human target.
literally went out, like took like 16 breaths, texted my wife, just letting you know this is going on. Really hoping this kid's not on the bus. And go outside. I'm looking at the bus from the outside. I don't see him. I'm like, God, I hope he's not under a seat. Like,
Just like Snapchatting the whole thing.
I got a gun.
we out here.
We
he
outside.
wasn't there, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So he just had the gun someplace else.
Yeah.
Somebody else would deal with him that day.
I had a kid. I tried to help break up a fight, and a kid got popped in the nose, like sucker punched. And the kid that got sucker punched started just gushing and spit right in my face.
Oh.
Blood and everything.
I'm not cut out for stuff like that. I'm too reactive.
I don't know.
That's what they say.
He punched back.
I don't know at what point I had patience, but that was the point where I was like, I'm going to step out of this room or I'm going to do something real bad.
Yes. Subject's going to come out.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why, like, I'm trying to tell everybody, like, if you're miserable where you are, you need to get out.
Yeah, just leave.
I know what it's like.
Yes, so my wife left her job in the beginning of Corona, and my wife was a nurse. And a lot of people thought she left her job because of Corona. But realistically, she had been complaining about her job was just not for her anymore for a very long period of time, where it was just got to the point where I was just like, quit.
Yeah, quit.
She's like, can I? I'm like, yeah, just do it. You won't do it. Do it.
You won't do it.
You won't do it.
You won't do it.
You won't do it. And I mean, we were in the position where there wasn't a whole lot of risk involved with that. There's some losing income, money's always good. More money's always better.
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow or another, she now makes more money than she did as a nurse, but she works way less hours. She lives the life. She does she's pretty much her own show business. And people all the time are well, how, you just have to kind of just know that I'm going to work hard no matter what, and that's going to yield the results. So I trust that I'll be okay no matter what.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I think that's what I never went the route of working for someone to have to leave that. It was always I can't go there. But I kind of respect people. The way I went about business was kind of foolish. I made way more mistakes because I kind of just thought I could just do it from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
But I always tell people hey, just go work for other people and pick up all their experience and prove your value, so that when you do want to go out on your own, everybody already knows about you.
Yeah.
You don't have to start from nobody knowing about you and prove it. But if you know that transition is difficult for that type of person or that setting, because it's that, am I going to be okay? I don't have that security of the income, the check every 2 weeks now. There's those things that you think are securities, but are actually just realistically holding you back in a way. So salute to you to I mean, it sounds like you were going to leave either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was your time to go.
It was my time. I was that old, just, I don't want to say veteran cop, but I was so jaded.
Yeah.
I had seen so much stuff, and I was so raw, realistic with what I knew was going to happen.
You were just expecting it.
Yeah. And there was a point somebody called me negative. I've been called a lot of names in my life. I've been called a lot of bad things.
You're screaming in his face, I'm not.
Never once negative.
Yeah, you don't strike me as that type of person.
Yeah, same.
Well, what's even better than that is a week later, I got the email notification from the Bucks happening list that was the first year that we won best group exercise in Central Bucks.
Oh, yeah, what?
And I was yeah, who's negative now?
Yeah.
If 80 people, not just here, outside of your little world recognize that I'm good and I have good intentions, I don't need you.
Yeah, I mean, either they just didn't see you the way the rest of the world did, or maybe you were just burn out there and you just
I think I made 3 calls that year that wound up being 100% accurate. And I said every time, we need to do this. Oh, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. No, Mike, we don't need to do that. And then when all those instances happened and went south, they were like, Mike, you didn't do anything.
And you're in charge of safety.
Yeah.
So it's not something it's not he was in charge of inventory of pencils.
Yeah, it's just
it's we need more variety of lead.
We need
They're
more,
no, shut up, Mike.
We need more 2.0.
It's no, it's we need more safety.
Who ate all the Crayola?
In this high threat environment. It's you get a knife pulled on you.
Yeah, what the fuck?
You would think I would know. There was no trust. There was no trust in me. And that, I think, was one of the hardest things for me to try to swallow. And I had always been a person of if you don't like me, fine. It's really no.
Yeah, but it's the team. I'm sure people in the Navy SEALs and stuff, I'm sure there are people that don't get along in there.
They're still a team.
But they're still a team and they function as one. So you don't, the thought and the idea that you have to and get along with everybody is kind of I don't know, it's a wasted notion in my opinion.
The team, the people that I worked next to, we're tight. It was when the team made decisions, but the leader didn't like it. That's when I was no, this is going to happen if we don't address this. And then when it did happen, and they said, Mike, why didn't you do anything? I sat there with my hands behind my head like, I told you that.
Yeah.
I told you that months ago. And by the last, like, month of school, I was like the image of the Joker in the back of the cop car with the head out the window. Like, that was me. Like, you have nothing on me. You have nothing to threaten me with. Like, I tried to do everything I could, and I knew that.
You had senioritis.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're like, sign my yearbook, bitch.
Yeah.
The last week.
Just tear the page out and throw it.
I'll do you one better. Senioritis so bad, the last week of school, one of the teachers brought in rock band. I was in that classroom every day. Just banging on the drums and clicking the guitar away.
Mr. Mike,
We were
give
just
me a
talking-
chance.
We were just talking about rock bands.
You can't hold tempo.
Play Hotel California.
If you can't play expert, you're not playing with me.
Oh.
This sucks so bad at rock, man.
Yeah, I suck too.
Yeah, dude, I bought a guitar one time and never played it.
Yeah. You still have it?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, shout out.
How much dust is on it?
It's not. It's in a beautiful case. It would also cost a lot of money.
Oh. Shout out,
I
bro.
got a story about that too.
You got stories on days, bro.
I got stories for everything.
Yeah, I
I
feel
really
like
do.
Mike's the dude that, like, if you need to go to a party or something like that and you think it's going to be a bad time, you, like, bring him as your blanket.
Yup.
You're like, dude, Mike, I got to go to this baby shower, dude. Can you come? And he's just like, we're just having a good time over here,
Yeah.
just
Hell
telling
yeah.
stories. Next thing you know, he's got, like, a whole crowd of people around him.
Mm-hmm.
It's the mustache.
Yeah,
It's the mustache.
You just trust it.
Wait, that Joker, is that why you got the
Just-
Joker tattoo?
that's a T-shirt right there.
What?
I'll let you have. We'll make it for you. But Training for Warriors, the mustache, just the mustache on a
that's-
T-shirt.
Yeah, yup.
Just trust it.
Yeah, just trust it. Boom.
The Joker card was just I thought it described me as a person
Yeah.
because it says, why so serious?
Mm.
I always, like, minus the stash, I, like, always look like a very serious person.
Mm.
And most girls that I went to college with always thought that I was, like, an a-hole because I, like, apparently had that look. But once you got to know me, I was like, no, let's party. Like, let's have fun. Like, let's forget about how many exams we have or how pissed you are at organic chemistry. Like, let's just hang out and live this experience.
Yeah, because you went to a flicking agriculture college, right? They were, like, worried about, like, the dairy potency.
I had no idea I didn't even know that turf management was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
What?
I had no idea.
Turf management?
What is
yeah,
that?
you get paid to
Dude,
manage
golf
grass.
course people.
Oh, yeah.
Big
yup.
bucks, man.
I know one of them.
Big money.
I know when he works at the Philly Stadium.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, yup.
No, we don't.
Yeah, he does, bro.
You hear
Turf
that? See how I
management.
use that?
Yeah, bro.
Ariel's going to be like, you said don't? You sounded so dumb. Please don't do that.
Yup.
Tell Val was a good time, though.
Yeah, I've always heard good things about it. It was just close to home it was like literally right down the street from
Yeah.
where I went to high school. So
Yeah, where I grew up,
I couldn't possibly go there.
yeah, it was like we were in Roxbury and not like this Roxbury
Mm.
Yeah.
because that's what everybody said to me.
Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah.
was
It's
one of
like this?
Classic.
No,
dude.
it's nothing like that.
I love that movie.
It was like an hour and a half away. So it was like close enough where like I could go home once in a while and far enough where if I wanted to stay out for the weekend and just, you know.
You wanted to go to a smaller school though, or you just went there for law enforcement?
So I went, originally I was going to go to Hofstra.
Okay.
Like I was accepted to Hofstra for physical therapy. I loved it. I thought it was so cool. And my dad was like, yeah, if you want to go to Hempstead, you have to pay. And I was like, oh. And he was like, Hempstead's a really rough area too. You're not going there. And I was like, oh. I guess I'm going to Del Val.
Yeah, sorry, Dad. Didn't mean to apply there.
Yeah.
So then I met the advisor there,
Yeah.
who is a retired Newark cop. If you know anything about Newark, New Jersey, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
yep.
okay.
And then
Real
he-
estate there is not great.
Then he started telling me like the stories about like walking the beat and all this stuff. I was like, oh my God, I want to do this.
I want to crack skulls.
Cracking skulls.
I want to be a cop.
Yeah.
And that, I think at some point in every kid's life, one of two things happen. You've either had enough run-ins with the law where you say, I could be a cop,
Yeah.
or I hate cops.
Yeah.
I think it goes one of two ways.
Yeah, sure.
My thing with cops are like, Cops are people. I know cops that should not be cops. But I also know cops that probably make great law enforcement officers.
Yeah.
So I think it's, like any job or profession, you have your good guys, you have your bad guys. And, people don't like to accept that. And they're like, whether you hear like the comparison to special forces or to the Navy SEALs or to like whatever, tier 1 group you want to talk about. Like, oh, those guys don't have that stuff there. It's like, well, bullshit. Like, they have drug problems. They have DUI problems. They have marital issues. They have all those problems too. They just keep a lid on it.
Yeah.
They deal with it. It doesn't get put on CNN and blasted all over the place, like their mistakes and their trials. So like it's just like this notion that we need a bar of perfection in just one profession is just silly to me. And then also on top of that, you don't have like adequate training, income, benefits to warrant that level of said perfection. It's like, what results do you expect to get here? And that's my stance on law enforcement. I think it's an incredibly difficult job. I hate cops and I like cops at the same time. And that it just is what it is. And I think, like, going back to what you said earlier, though, about how, like, I mean, you were in year 8 of your job and you were just, like, toasted.
Yeah.
Like, you could see yourself, like, this is going to get out of hand eventually. But, like, imagine, like, that same stress is applying to, like, a law enforcement officer. Like, you have to know when you need to punch out. Like, if it's your time not to, like, everybody's like, oh, I got 4 more years until I got my 20. It's like, well, maybe you should have left 6 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe
like,
you should have bought some time.
Maybe we shouldn't have done this, like, whole 20-year thing. Maybe we could be like, okay, you know what? You've done a great 8 years here. Like, I think it's time for you to find a new, different career path before you make a mistake or something like that. Like, maybe. Like, a lot of that stuff's situational. Like,
it's like
somebody pulls a gun on you and you make a mistake. Like, what do you, like, a lot going on in that moment. Like, that's not somebody been burnt out.
That's the issue with, like, social media right now is that, like, no matter what, like, everybody's a star. Whether you want to be famous or infamous, like, people are just going to, we all live by our phones right now. And that, it drives me nuts about fitness.
Yeah.
Like, the Instagram model that's selling her booty bands for $172, all because it's got her name on it, when you could go buy the same bands that do the same thing for $32. But you think, as you're consuming this information, that your butt is going to look like hers, and you're going to look like her by the end of her stupid 14-day juice cleanse.
Get the fuck out of here.
And that's false.
Yeah, that's why there's like Photoshop and stuff. So
I hate it.
Photoshop was invented for fitness models.
yeah, girls don't really look like that in real life. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, yeah, sure. Sure they do.
What are you talking about?
He's never been to Stephanie's.
No.
Oh, Andrew.
I've never been to Stephanie's.
Yeah, I don't know. That shit's wild to me. But it's like that quote was "Dying be a hero, live long enough to be the villain" or something like that.
That was Two-Face.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But it's like,
Good one.
Get
I
out,
liked it.
get out when it's time,
Yeah.
not just overextend it and then.
What is it? You either live long enough to be the hero, or you die the villain. Something like that.
I think somehow like die hero, live long enough to be a villain.
I can see.
It's a mixture of whatever you guys just said.
Yeah, yeah.
I can see the scene in my head too, and I actually use that as like a meme, like year 9, because I really felt like I was either gonna go or I was gonna be the villain, and I was just gonna be like, no.
Just Mr. Mike has 11 submissions this week.
11 submissions.
Tap or snap, bitch. I actually had a clear record.
Yeah.
Like, I never had any, like, I can't remember what they call it, like infractions.
Yeah.
Well, that was the last year. I had a couple of them.
Whoa.
And I yelled at them each time.
You don't know what it's like out there in the field.
Pretty much. That was
Walk
pretty much.
upstairs to the second floor.
Yeah. Banging on the door.
I'm man on the front lines. You guys,
You guys just over here.
I'm out here laying on grenades, and you guys are up here sipping Starbucks, reading your fucking Twitter crap.
Or
like
Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, not caring about me. Like,
Yeah.
Not Karen. Karen.
Not Karen.
Oh my God.
He's like, how'd you know her name?
Shit. It was with a C.
Got her.
Not Karen. If you ever
Carol.
Carol. It has to be Carol.
Oh,
No.
dude.
Wait, Carol?
I have a Carol in my neighborhood. Oh, my God. This woman grinds my... I feel like I have an Aunt Carol. Shout out to Aunt Carol.
Shout out Aunt Carol.
I mean, we're not that close anymore, so you get a pass. But, like,
Yeah.
sometimes when I meet a Carol, I'm just like, this isn't going to go smoothly.
Yeah, something about you's wrong.
You just automatically assume from past experiences.
Yeah, I'm burnt out. I'm like a burnt out cop, beat cop.
With Carol.
Waiting to just gun down a Carol.
Jesus.
With my words.
Yeah, with your words. Yeah.
I fucking hate you, Carol.
With my intellectual ammo.
Yep.
Dude, I'll put you out on blast. Somebody, or Brendan, you know, the Keystone Carpenter, he sent me some, like, there's a guy who, I forget what their podcast is called. It's like a contractor-based podcast. I would shout it out if I ever could remember. It was like the Contractor Life or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said something. They had a conversation on the podcast, and something was said, and I'm not clear on any of that, but apparently, like, somebody tried to cancel this guy. And Brendan was like, "Oh, you guys are gonna be next." I'm like, "Good luck." I was like, "Try and cancel me. Episodes 1 through 84, you can get it.
Yeah, right.
Just
What's
go
up?
for it." It's like
Can't
you just
cancel me.
if you just go, if you're just like, I'm like, what are they gonna cancel? What am I just gonna leave my house? Like, I'm gonna. Pretty much everything I could do is cancelable in somebody's eyes. It's like,
Dude, no matter what, you could do everything right, and somebody is still going to be upset about it.
we looked into this podcasts ago about canceling the cancel culture. How we looked into, I looked up like 10 different companies and their performance after, like, their CEO or so and so. Somebody said something, or it was General Mills and like the Aunt Jemima thing, like all of these things. And it was the companies that stood up for their values, and then the companies that buckled, and all the companies that were like, yeah, go fuck yourself, their sales went through the fucking roof. Like Goya.
Yeah, Goya. I was about to say that
you
one.
literally couldn't keep Goya on the
Yeah.
shelf. People were like, yeah, Goya.
Yeah,
I'm not
beans.
even going to use this rice. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
do this. I'm going to get these beans. I'm going to get the rice. We have tacos every night this week.
Bro, fuck yeah.
Taco month.
Eating beans with my
It's
cereal.
going to be Taco May. That's what I'm saying.
Beans is my new monetary value.
Yep.
I don't have $5 to my name, but I got 3 pounds of Goya
Yeah.
sitting up in the closet.
Bean coin, dog.
Yeah, man. I mean, a gym owner could do a lot with some beans.
Yep.
Some cans of beans. You get a pallet of beans, do some, like, drags.
I mean, I would eat them. That's just me. I would get my legumes.
He'd
in.
be like on the top of the bean pile, just eating it. Bowl!
One more.
Smoother bowls. Spill my beans.
Throw another bag on. It's not heavy enough.
Yeah, one more.
Yeah, that's definitely that's like forever ingrained in my mind. Every time I see Mike from now on, I'm just gonna see him like a king
Mustache
eating
with bags
beans
of
on top
Goya.
of a pallet of Goya.
Yelling one
He's gonna
more.
look like, oh, dude, what's the 300 when Xerxes being pulled in?
Oh, yeah.
And you realize he's being pulled in on like the backs of slaves. He's like people walking bent over. I'm like, what? This movie is. This is not too much.
Shadow control.
Hollywood.
You know how
couldn't-
many
you
people-
couldn't make that today.
You know how many people went on that, like, when that movie came out and they saw Gerard Butler?
The Spartan
Oh.
workout.
Spartan workout.
Yeah, I smoked that workout. That thing wasn't. I was like,
Yeah.
me and Timmy did it, and they were like, "There's no way that this happened."
And then
I'm like,
everybody
no,
realized,
that was steroids. That was tramadol.
yeah, everybody realized it was Photoshop and makeup.
Yeah, spray on abs.
Yeah, it was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, he did look ripped, though.
Dude, all those dudes steroids.
Mm.
Every last one of them.
Yeah, the Rock, bro. Steroids.
The Rock is definitely somebody who tried to argue with me about that. the
Oh,
other day.
no.
I
He's
looked
not on it.
dude. The Rock is juiced.
Dude, that's all he eats.
HGH.
Juice, right?
Yeah.
Him. Who else? The Hemsworth brothers.
Oh, yeah, those dudes
Juice.
are jacked.
Did you see Hemsworth at the Love and Thunder picture?
Mm-mm.
You got to Hemsworth looks like
You just don't
Yoked.
get that big. Like, there's no way you get that definition. I guess would be the proper.
it's not the definition. It's the image of his arms.
the vein.
Yeah, the black and white one.
Yeah, that was it.
So there's that one. But why is Thor skipping leg day?
oh my god,
That's not real. There's no way that's real.
Nah.
No, this was actually came out. This was true, and his brother commented on the picture.
That's his legs right there.
I heard about that. Look, if you look at if you go back to the picture with the black and white, you see the comments. I think. Oh, never mind.
Well, that's on Instagram, so I can't.
Whatever.
He's all arms and he's no legs. It
Really?
upsets me.
Huh.
He definitely doesn't train jiu-jitsu.
He's doing sit-outs right there. That's a good exercise.
Maybe that was just a bad angle. Let's get dude. I mean, are they scrubbing his legs off the internet? Chris Hemsworth legs.
I was about to do that. Hemsworth legs.
Oh no, dude, he's got some chickens.
Yeah, they're not that.
No, it's a little different there.
Huh.
See, I don't know how you would get a bad angle like that though.
It's probably the type of camera. These are probably like.
Could you mess up with the lens?
Yeah, this is probably like a 100mm lens. It looks like it's far away, so it makes you look bigger. This is an up close shot, so maybe that's why he looks like that.
To be clear, we probably look jacked on the cameras right now.
Probably.
I mean, I'm jacked all the time.
Yeah, as you should be.
I mean, I don't have a six-pack, and I'm fine with it, but
it's underneath there. We can chisel it out.
Yeah, we all have one.
Abs happen in the kitchen, and that's it.
Facts.
Yeah, that's true.
What's like the setup of your gym? Like, do you have programs like where people have to come to classes? Is it an open train? Like, what's the vibe?
So like everything's class. So you have, dude, I have a woman. She's 73.
Dude, if he didn't finish this thing,
I was like, what?
I have a woman.
Okay.
She's 73.
Yeah.
And I have so much respect for her.
Okay.
Just in general. And she comes to me yesterday and she goes, I went to the doctor and I had blood work done a couple months ago before I started here. And I was borderline diabetic. And I was like, oh my God, that's terrible. And she goes, I got my blood work back yesterday. And my A1C, so like A1C has to do with your diabetes and your sugars and your glycogen and all that stuff. And she goes, and my numbers are like 6.5, which are like perfect.
She beat the beaties.
She beat the beatus. And she goes,
dude, that's another T-shirt. Just him.
Beat the beatus.
Him
beat the beatus.
Yeah, yeah.
Fist pumping.
Yep.
Wilford Brimley had a stash.
Yeah.
Hey.
And she's telling me the story that her doctor is like a bigger doctor, like doesn't take care of herself as a doctor,
which frustrates me.
Which drives me through the roof, because then the doctor is telling her, "Oh, have you been doing the bands that I told you to do?" And she said, "No, I've been weightlifting. I've been strength training." "Oh, you're too old to lift."
No,
you're not. You're absolutely not. Like if you're a doctor and you're telling somebody that they're too old to do something, there's something, I don't know when your day went wrong, but
that's just like you have to know. I say this to people all the time and they're very skeptical. It happened a lot during like Corona, where it's like, you can't really trust what that person's saying, because although they are a doctor, they don't really know about they don't know what they're speaking on, whatever subject, be it nutrition, be it, strength training and things like that. I think it'll be interesting to see what kind of doctors come out in the future with like the culture we grew up with fitness.
Yeah.
Because I go to a concierge doctor that he does the blood work. Like he understands things. Like he's into the genetics, like he understands nutrition. And it was refreshing to go to a doctor and like kind of like explain, and you get so much more out of someone that actually understands like the full spectrum of a human body, rather than just like the old school medical doctor, like practitioner type thing, because there's so much more to like the Service Brothers, for instance, like that was a great podcast because we were talking about like food is medicine, like what you eat generates like the results you get and the reactions in your body. So if you're getting subpar, the performance of whatever you're trying to do with your body like isn't what you want it, like you shouldn't be looking towards like a medication for your first solution. Like you should be first looking to be like, hey, well, what am I putting into my, my vehicle?
The hole under your nose.
My meat, like, like you're just like this huge meat vessel.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're basically just a submarine of bones and meat just floating around here. Like you wouldn't, the best thing I've ever heard is like you wouldn't put like shitty gas in a race car.
Dude, I use that example more times than I can say. And it's because it's one of the easiest things to understand.
Somebody came up to me one time and they're like, are you a race car? I'm like, what? They're like, oh, you're an athlete, right? What are you eating at? And I was like, holy fuck.
Like you don't
it's
put
the biggest slap in the face,
because you don't put regular fuel in a Lambo.
Yeah. You
don't. That's stupid. Like you don't, like you run your car till 3,000 miles and you have to have the oil changed, right? Like water is like the oil to your body. It has to lubricate the muscles. It has to lubricate your organs. 60% of your body weight should be water. And everybody, like, how can I say this in a small window? So even though, like, our bread and butter is like strength training. Like, we bench, we squat, we deadlift. Like, everything's in a class setting. But it's that energy that everybody gets off of each other that really, like, sends things through the roof. And as much as we do, like, because, you know, in fitness, everything has 16 million names. Cardio and conditioning are two different things. Conditioning, you're actually training the body to produce better results, where it's like cardio. Like my buddy Brandon, and I hate him because yesterday he called me and he was like, yo, let's go for a 6 mile run. And I was like, no. He was like, come on. And I was like, fine. Do I look like I'm conditioned for 6 miles? No, like that's what cardio is. Like cardio is like a steady state of oxygen consumption, of just burning calories, but not really conditioning the lungs and the heart in order to produce a higher standard of results. So like when we do this stuff, like we strength train, we do metabolic, we strength train, we condition, like there's a rest, but there's also a work still. So even when people come in and I tell the story and we do the warm up, like I'm still trying to drop like nuggets of like nutrition and trying to explain things in like a very relatable topic. I don't like talking like an actual like fitness professional. People can argue. I don't. If you're coming to me, I'm not going to explain to you what the Krebs cycle is. You could care less what dorsiflexion versus plantar flexion is. I've been doing this for 10 years. I could sit here and I could talk to you about it if you really want. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, fine. If not, cool. I'm still going to explain it to you where like the internet is trying to drink from a fire hose. You're just going to get blasted. You can't disseminate which information is best because there's so much. It serves a great purpose, but at the end of the day, you need some kind of filter for some, you know, to get somebody to understand what you're talking about.
I get that a lot with the internet. I read a lot, and the mornings is like my reading time, and like I'll just kind of like book. If I'm reading on the computer, I can like do all the bookmarks, and I'll like organize like the bookmarks on my computer, so like I have to come back and reread this after I read this, because there's so many things that I've kind of given up on having any real strong like attachments to things, especially after the last year or so, because it just seems like the more attached you get to like information and like what's out there, like the more harmful it is. Like the more you get like invested in something, like the more it comes back to biting me in the ass. So, like I kind of just like go out there, I kind of read what I read, and I'm just like, that's interesting. That's interesting. So when it comes to fitness, if like I didn't know anything, like you could get steered so many different ways.
Yeah.
Like the wind could be blowing your sail like all over the ocean, and you would never have any idea unless you went to a place like yours where somebody kind of like has your better interest in mind to kind of like guide you into it.
And that's why like the whole, you know, there should be a story behind everything. Like there's a story behind, you know, how you guys came up with no prisoners, right? There's a story of why that thing sticks out.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. And
there are none.
Yep.
So like for training for warriors, like everybody, whether you know it or not, is a warrior. Yeah. Everybody has some kind of battle that they're fighting every day, whether it's their job, whether it's their own inner stuff. Like it's not exercise for warriors. Like you train for a reason. Like we don't do work out of the days. Like we actually have like a periodized approach on how to overcome plateaus and how nothing seems stale. Like if you look at fitness as a whole, like just as the concept of fitness, it has not changed ever.
No. You pick things up, you put them down.
Yeah, and that's all it is. But so many people want something new and trendy. Everybody, you know, I said this the other day, everybody wants the body the year from now, but they want it with Amazon Prime.
Yeah, well, that's because nobody wants to put the work in.
The work's the hardest part.
The idea of fitness not sucking to me. Like if I go to the gym and I didn't have a hard time, I'm like not fulfilled.
Yeah.
Because like I've gotten myself to the point where it's like if my sweatshirt on top of my t-shirt, like people are in there with like sleeveless shirts on. I've got like a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, like I'm sweating profusely before I'm even dropping sweatshirt. Like I want to know that like I came here and I did something.
Yeah.
And that is the reason behind working out. It's like it's supposed to suck, and the more it sucks, the better you're doing.
Yeah.
So you almost to avoid like that concept of you're trying to avoid the suck. Like I can't say fitness isn't for you because fitness is for it should be for everybody.
It's supposed to be.
You need to get in that mindset that it's like I need to somehow enjoy this.
Like the twins said, how the food that you eat has an influence on your body.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like if you don't fuel your body, you're only going to fool your body. Like if you're sitting there, and that's why they say, a sedentary lifestyle is the new smoking. It 100% is. Like your basal metabolic rate is what you burn at rest. So like we have a scale at the gym that tells you what your actual BM. There's a math equation that you can do too based on somebody's activity level and their weight and X, Y, and Z.
And what do you have, like an in-body test?
Yeah, that's exactly what we have.
You have an in-body machine?
Yeah, and it's amazing.
Dude, my wife is going to be knocking on your door.
If you're listening, you can use it whenever you need.
Let's go.
Literally, she's going to be there all the time.
Yeah.
Friends help friends out.
Yeah.
But
the gym we go to has the in-body machines, but it's just such like I don't care that much about it. If like sometimes throughout the year, like sometimes I do, and I'm like, I should keep that every quarter or so. But then I'm like, I train differently, so it's just kind of like a different vibe for me. Where she cares about it, but like when you go to ask the person who does it, it's always like yeah, I guess we could do it for you. So it's like, why do you guys have the machine here in the middle of the room? Set up in front of everybody if you're going to be an asshole about it. If I'm asked to use it. I'm like, dude, that's a good point.
That's the exact opposite of what I do.
Yeah.
The first of the month, I sit there and go, hey, guys, today is choose one, lose one, and in body. If you don't weigh in, you don't wrestle. Go get on it. And then there's more people that are afraid of it because it has such real, raw results.
Because it shows if you didn't work or not.
Yeah, and if you're not getting on it, you cannot. What is it?
If you can't measure it, you can't improve it.
Yeah, you can't measure what you don't manage, or the other way around. You can't manage
what you can't measure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like we should have clapped right there.
So then I can't help.
Yeah.
Like I can sit there and say that looks too light. Put more weight on. Like the heavier the weight that's relative for you is the best for you. If you I don't care. I'll argue until I'm blue in the face. You cannot pick up the same dumbbells and curl the same weight every day and expect results.
Yeah.
You cannot do. There's no such thing as 1,000 reps at 5 pounds.
There's a guy at the gym right now in the morning. He looks like he's from Men in Black, not in the human sense.
Oh, okay.
And the guy curls every day. And it's like the same amount of weight every day. And his form's terrible. But like I see him and I'm like, I kind of just like I'll never say anything to him, but I like want to be like, dude, if your goal is to get bigger arms, this isn't the way to go about it. But you kind of just let it go. Mm. But in a gym like him, there's like in your gym, there's nobody's gonna let you go.
No.
It's like you're training with like the people who ultimately become your friends.
Yeah.
People there's probably people that have become friends and are now hanging out because they met in your gym.
It's our culture.
Yeah.
Like our culture is what is one of the biggest drives of what we do. Like we celebrate everybody's success. You know, like every month we have like a warrior of the month, like somebody that's standing out, that's just a beacon, that's representing what we stand for. And we stand them up and we give them an award, and you know, it's a big deal because you should absolutely be rewarded for your hard work.
Yeah.
There's like that was one of the biggest things at the old job, that nobody appreciated it. Nobody appreciated my work.
Yeah.
Like as many times as I got beat up, I never got a thank you.
And that's all it would have taken was just like a simple thank you then?
Just a recognition. Like, think, why do most people quit their jobs?
Leadership.
Yeah, and they don't feel appreciated.
Yeah.
They don't feel like what they do matters. And that's, nobody should have to live life like they don't matter.
What does it make you like when you when you see people interacting there? Like, I'm assuming you have like some sort of staff, or some team right now. Like,
yeah, Bob and Devin.
Bob and Devin?
Shout out.
Names.
Oh, and mom.
And mom,
like my mom.
No way.
Yeah, my mom's our precision nutrition coach.
Okay,
so Ma helps out a lot with, and I joke around. I say, yo, if you want,
that's awesome,
dude. If you want the Italian mother treatment,
yeah,
she'll text you every meal and be like, did you eat? Did you eat enough? Did you eat this? How are your macros? Blah, blah, blah.
Show me the plate.
Send me a pic.
Pretty much. and she will go to that extent.
So is that like, how's that work in like the membership of it? Like, is that somebody might need a little extra counseling? They go and can like additionally seek help from your mom, or is that like included in the membership?
Yeah,
like
that's part of it.
Okay.
So like, and
so you offer a like full service relationship. You're not just picking up weights. You're also, making sure people are hydrated, doing the macros, micros, and
we're making sure that people are good.
Yeah.
Like, if you sign up for class,
like, you're ready to be a warrior.
Yeah, like if you sign up for class and you don't show up, I'm like texting you to make sure you're okay. Like, if something happened with your kid, like, I want to know. We're not a barcode and scan place. We're a handshake and a high five of getting to know how many kids you have, how many dogs you have, what your job is, what your strengths, what your weaknesses are. Like, how can we help you?
What's your, in like the helping sense, like, what is like a traditional class size like?
Before everything?
Before the Rona.
Before the Rona, it didn't matter. It was like 14 people. 14. Yeah, and we moved the beginning of the Rona.
So where'd you move from?
So up in Plumstead, you have Dominic's, Ace, and Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Did I say it like a Jersey guy?
Dunkin' Donuts.
No, I did that.
Oh, okay.
Dunkin' Donuts.
I was like,
when I hear Dunkin' Donuts, Dunkin' Donuts.
Did I slip back
Dunkin'
into
Donuts?
No.
I say donuts.
Old ways. The place that was next to Dominic's,
the Huntington Valley Bank is right there, right?
Yeah, it's across the street. Okay. So that place was like 1,200 square feet. It was a big decision to move to an actual shopping center in the visible eye of the public and pay a higher rent.
And so you moved to that location
from a 5,000 square foot warehouse, which I couldn't have signs. Nobody knew it was there.
That's the place over by the gas station, by the Mercedes place, kind of?
No, this was over on Deep Run Road.
Okay.
Like, you're going up practically.
That's a warehouse.
Yeah, like a warehouse. Like, there was if the lights weren't on, you were afraid something was popping out.
Yeah, that's how our wood shop is. And we host this event like called Beer and Wood. And we just like get people together, and we had the last one there, like in the middle of Corona.
Oh yeah.
So we were like, the lights were out and shit, and people pull up and they're like, "Are we even in the park? Are we in a parking lot? Right
Yeah.
now? Like, where are we?" And we'd have to like turn the lights on, and be like, "Come in, we're here." You literally was so dark.
You want some beer and some wood?
Like, we're over here.
Yeah, I was sketched out. It was my first time ever going there, and
Yeah,
I was like,
people
"Damn,
are
the drive here."
Where are we?
I think he's coming. He's planning to kill me or something. Like,
Yeah, dude. Come up here. I want to meet with you.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna die. But
Yeah, dude.
We
It could
had
happen. It
we
could
had
still
our-
happen.
it
Our
could.
5:30 a.m. class was the biggest class.
So your first class is at 5:30.
Yeah, and there was like 14 people in there every day, 5 days a week.
Same people.
Same people, same. It was awesome.
And what did that class look like? Was it like moms, business people?
What's funny, a lot of the 5:30 was like guys.
Okay.
It was strongly 70% men, and guys that work the 9 to 5 that are trying to
Get there before work.
Yeah, get there before work so they can get home. A couple of moms, and then it just we had to make the choice of we were either going to have to open a second morning class, or we were going to have to take another leap of faith, like
Bigger location.
to just go 3 doors down. And we did, And the place we're at now is 2,500 square feet.
Damn.
So you went from 1,200 to 2,500.
Yeah, so we doubled it, and it was worth it.
For sure.
Then behind us is also it's paved in the back. So we can go out back and work out outside if we need to. So
unlimited square feet.
Yeah, dude.
Called outside.
All of the square feet.
All of the square feet.
So then we were in there for like 30 days, and then
the
Rona hit, and I was like, "No, we're not gonna get locked down. No, we'll be fine." And in my head, I'm going, "If we do, we're doing Zoom." I already knew the plan, and then everything went
big dark,
and I was like, "Oh, shit."
So you suspended membership and stuff like that? Like, how'd you handle that?
No. And this is a shout out to all our members because they stood by me.
They kept the doors open.
They kept the doors open. They kept food on my table. They kept the roof over my head. They believed in me. And there was a point which they probably don't know this until right now, where I thought I was in another bad spot.
That's okay. Nobody listens to this.
Oh no, they're gonna.
Yo, shout out.
I was like, yo, I got to leave early. I'm going to this really sick podcast.
Hell yeah.
And they were like, oh, can we listen to it live? And I was like, no.
Yeah, we joke about it in the beginning. We'll be like, yeah, this is live.
It is live.
I was like, no, but I'm sure when it comes out, you guys can listen.
Yeah, we realize the podcasts, like things happen every now and then where you realize like stuff's happening.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that happened to us was we have this lovely client, shout out to Sheila. And
I love a good Sheila.
She was saying, boys, like, and we would always be like, people would be like, oh, you have a podcast? And I'd be like, don't listen. It's not for you. Like, it's not for you. It's not your podcast. And it was kind of like a joke that we'd be like, we'll see if you listen. Mm-hmm. Sheila listened, and she was like, I spit my milk out. Like, she was like eating cereal or something, and she was listening to the podcast in the morning when she was getting ready, and she spit the cereal out all over her kitchen laughing at us.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, oh, that made me feel so good that you enjoyed Miss Sheila. Like, you're not our demographic, but you might be now.
Yeah.
Like, so that was like kind of an opening where it was like, well, maybe there's more people out there than we thought. And then like things like we were at the pool the other day, and some dude was like, oh, what do you do? I was like, oh, I do this, this, and this. And he's like, oh, yeah? Well, what's that called? And I was like, I said something like the name of the podcast or something. He's like, dude, I follow that shit. And I was like, all right, yeah, you're drunk as shit.
A drunk man words are a sober man's thoughts.
That's true.
And his buddy was like, we thought was like the designated driver, but we realized like he was just 2 times as messed up as this guy, and he was just being like, he was trying to be cool. Like, he was literally like, I asked him a question, he said something back like, oh, this is what he said back. We were talking. I was like trying to talk to him about his job, what he does. And I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. Like, is that like a hard job? And he's like, I'm 6 foot. Like, do you think I had to pay for college? I looked at my wife. I was like, all right, good. Like, what's your name again? And I'm like, oh, dude, I'm never going to forget you.
Yeah.
Not in a good way.
What an answer.
I was like, I looked at her. I was like, dude, look out. You hear that answer? He's not driving. But so your classes are every couple hours then, or how's that?
Yeah, so we have a 5:30, we have a 9, a 10. I have a couple of one-on-one clients. We have a 4, a 5, and a 6. And we have 8 a.m.
So pretty much like all like the hit times.
Yeah. Like we have
morning, midday, evening.
We have 8 a.m., which my members have aptly called bro hour.
Yeah.
And I started calling it just open gym because that's Mike's time. That's when I work out. So if you want to come in and you want to swim with the shark, that's fine. Just understand, like,
yo, you want to come in? I'm coming.
You should.
I'm in there and I'm just hammering away. Like, I'm striking while it's hot.
That's awesome. So like, do you have people coming home from college that like come for like the season, or do you have mostly like once you're a member, you're pretty much?
I've had people that have gone away and that have come back, but we do have a pretty steady, flow of people that really enjoy, what we do and how we approach things. I have a couple of kids. who are leaving for college, and I'm sad about it because they're just good kids.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. It's just it's a part of the business is that you have those ebbs and flows where people come, people go. Some people go to college, some people come back on their breaks, and some people will pay for like 6 months and come as much as they want, and then
they'll disappear,
and then like come back out and like, hey, missed it, blah blah blah. It just the life of a.
So you have like you don't really have like a demographic. You have a variety of people.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. And
because sometimes like gyms like yours, and when I say like yours, I mean like kind of like coaching style.
Yeah.
They all have like they always have like their demographic they appeal to, or they try to coach to, or ultimately they just get.
Pretty much the way that I look at it, and I have a lot of good friends now that are like super high in the fitness industry and like really brilliant at what they do, and they've preached about demographic, and I don't, as much as I want to say as a business person, I don't have one.
It's kind of dangerous.
Oh, I love it.
Because I've played the demographic game as well, and then like I've had, like, I won't say how young, but I've had some pretty young clients come out with some pretty big checkbooks, and then and you're like, wow, like had I judged you from like the first interaction, like we might not be doing business right now. But because I was kind of like, this is interesting, like I'm assuming you're calling us, like you're looking for a certain product, like like that comes with like a assumed cost, like
right.
So I'm like, well, okay, like is this what you want? Because normally like our customers for home building and things like that in that business are usually like that 35 to 55, 60. They've had like their first home. They know like, all right, well, like this is what I can get if I spend this much money. And they're like, I don't know, we need a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or something. So like those people are just, and like that's just like their life cycle. So like that's how we go. But with fitness, it kind of seems like anybody could probably get benefit from it if they're willing to, step through the door.
If you walk in our door, like we have a 14-year-old and we have up to a 73-year-old. If you come in my door, excuse me, not me, our door, and you say, I want to make a change in my life, great, let's do it. What's stopping you?
He's like, drop and give me 20.
Oh, don't get me started on bad push-up form either. We love push-ups. I preach them all the time, and there's so many. Nobody ever taught us how to do push-ups.
Dude, Ariel is definitely razors coming through the door, dude. My wife like wins push-up competitions. She was at like this open fitness kind of like thing for Mitch a few weeks ago, and they did like a push-up or a plank thing, and there was like this other kid that she was like neck and neck with, and she's like this kid's push-up form is trash. Like, she's like talking, and this kid was like young.
Yeah,
she's like, your form's trash. Like somebody gonna call this kid's trash form out. Like, this is my T-shirt. I want it.
Yeah,
like,
what the fuck?
If you come up to me and you tell me, hey, I want to do a 30-day plank challenge, I'm gonna try not to laugh. Because I don't think any of those 30-day challenges that actually like, first you're going to hold a plank for 30 seconds, and then you're going to hold it for 35.
Yeah.
By the time you hit 5 minutes, your back is so jacked up, you're just doing more harm than good. Like there's so many other things that you can do, and that's when it goes back to that whole coaching.
He doesn't mean it, Gilmore. I can plank for 15.
I've done it.
I hate planks. I hate box jumps. I hate burpees. I think they're the dumbest things.
Yeah, they suck.
Don't encourage him.
The risk to reward ratio, it's not worth it.
That the risk to reward ratio, I do believe that. That's fair. That's definitely like because there you see like the box jump things. I like box jumps, but like my shins are also like hardened steel.
Why not
just
like
bamboo
squat
trees for box jump? Because like you do that after your squat. What?
Why not just do a broad jump?
You could do that. You could do that.
Yeah.
Dude, a broad jump is way more explosive and has way more benefit.
Can you explain to people verbally what a broad jump is?
So pretty much like if you're standing,
asking for a friend.
Is it Sheila?
Stupid.
It's literally just standing there and jumping forward. It's a linear jump forward. It's
like you stand with your feet together,
drop your hands back,
like a skier.
Yeah,
and you kind of just launch yourself.
You
forward.
launch your. It's a kettlebell swing without the kettlebell.
Do you like kettlebells?
I do.
Yeah,
I think they're great. I think they're a great use to build better depth in a squat, to build better mobility. I think they serve a great purpose. I think
so. You would say one of like probably the best benefits of going to your your team's fitness center is the coaching and form.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think people are threatened by kettlebells when they necessarily shouldn't be. It's just purely because they don't understand necessarily like the energy behind it or what your goal is.
People are threatened by strength training.
Yeah.
People are threatened and intimidated by a barbell, by a dumbbell, by a kettlebell, because there's been so much on the internet about injuries. Like deadlifting is the most satisfying thing you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I got hurt falling. I mean, I didn't really fall. I gracefully landed out of my truck the other day and like messed up my butt cheek. And I was like walking around like a cowboy yesterday. So like you can get hurt.
You can get hurt doing anything.
And like that was like after I had worked out yesterday morning.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, I'm like, well, damn, like I should have got hurt earlier.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that I was trying to explain to people, that if you have like an injury,
yeah,
there's a way to work around your injury.
Mm.
If you have bad knees and you can't sprint or squat, that's fine. I have 10 years of experience of other things that you can do and put the excuses to bed. Like, if you give me any excuse and I'll bat it down.
Well, there's a lot of people that make excuses. One of the gentlemen, I'm not really doing triathlons anymore. The jiu-jitsu's kind of taken over my whole world. But the guy who got me kind of into that world is a lung and sleep doctor. I think he's 65 years old. He wins his age group every time he goes out, and he says, and we're like, oh, did you get your medal for it? He's like, nah, I don't give a shit about my age group. Like, and he's hardcore. Like hardcore. The other day, like I missed the swim they did in the morning, and they did like 80 25s, and then he went and ran 20 miles.
Damn.
On the toe pass. Like, he's just a savage. He's just like, and like I look at my parents. My mom's in pretty good shape for 71.
Damn.
And I would very much prefer my dad to be in a lot better shape. But he's like, he falls in that category where it's like, oh, but I have this shoulder thing.
Yeah.
So I don't want to I walk. It's like, well, no, dude, like the reason I'm getting up your ass right now is because I care, and I know you need to do more than what you're doing, and I know it's like frustrating to hear from your son. But like, you passed the torch on to me, buddy. Like, it's time for you to do, like, you want to be around long enough. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand why objectively people can't see that, and that's frustrating to me. I don't know if you experience any of that from like when you're trying to maybe solicit business, or you see people on the internet or see people out, and you're like, I could make, if you could just trust me for just 30 fucking days, I could make a lifetime difference in your life, but you just won't. And that's how I feel. I just get aggressive, and it's unbeneficial.
I really think like when I see somebody and they're more intimidated by the concept of fitness, I don't necessarily take like offense to it, but I'm like I can show you the way.
You need this.
Like, I can really, if you just give me your time, if you give me 4 hours out of your 168-hour week, I promise you I can make a difference if you just believe in me and believe in yourself. Like, it's fitness is not complicated. We complicate it. It's the hardest thing to get people to understand that even though, like, having a short-term goal is great, like to lose 10 pounds, to look great for somebody's wedding or whatever, but to think about the long-term effects is even more beneficial to you. But we don't think like that because everybody wants the magic pill. They want the stuff to just fall off. They want it right now. And that's just because of how we've been, like...
It's because of the microwave. The microwave oven, like, and thinking about it, it all just goes back to the microwave oven because, like, instant food. That's when it all started.
Yeah.
It's like TVs are like, But once that microwave oven came out and you could just get it, or like the phone, I could just call overseas real quick.
Yep.
Changed everything.
That's
I really like history, and it's cool to like read. This stopped happening. World War II and post World War II, it happened less and less. But pre World War II, like people would go away for months, or they would like go to this place for a month in the year, like every year. Like they would go to an entire family would just pick up and just move to a different part of the state, just because like that's where they went for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And like the idea to me that like people would just pick up and from Europe and go to New York for the summer. It's like, well, what did you do with like everything that you had going on? It's like, well, it still went on.
Yeah.
It still didn't stop.
Time treats us all the same.
It didn't stop. All that stuff still went on. They just chose like, hey, summertime.
So
It's time to go to New York. That's what we do in the summer. But now it's like you think about it, it's like, dude, like I would never be like, I'm gonna take my 3 months off and just, go to south of France. Like that's what we do in the summer. Like nobody does that anymore. So like that concept of like right now is so pervasive, and it used to be so like people I think took time to like stop, or at least had to. Maybe there just wasn't the microwave.
I told everybody at the gym, I was like, listen, when I go away next week, or counting it down, I always complain that I hate social media. I hate it and I love it.
Yeah.
And I hate it because, like most people, like if I see somebody post something that I don't agree with, I just keep going. I'm not going to waste my time being the keyboard warrior and the troll to just blow up somebody. That's fine. That's your opinion. Like, I don't agree with it, but I'm not going to sit there and waste time. I told everybody, like, yo, when I go away, I'm dropping off the grid. Don't email me. Don't text me. I'm not going to be scrolling nothing. And I made a promise to my wife that I am putting everything away for that whole week. So if you want me, you can drive down to LBI and find me. I'm not hard to miss.
Road trip.
Hey.
Yeah, he's not hard to miss. With
You
that
can,
mustache.
you can find me at the Ship Bottom Brewery.
I'm looking for the guy with the stash.
I mean, that's the way to do it, man. Whenever you go away on vacation or something, it's good to just disconnect. Every now and then, it's good to do that. Just, be with your own thoughts and yourself. Like,
I don't want to be with my own thoughts.
Well, I like to be with my own
It's
thoughts.
a mess up there.
When you get a chance to figure it out.
It's like
You're a well-balanced human being, Gilmar. Not everyone's like
I try to be.
it's I like to think my head is like a boardroom, like just a bunch of guys like yelling at each other, and whatever's happening right now, if that one's got the best idea, I'm gonna go with it because it matches that scenario. Like otherwise, it's just it's a wreck.
Yeah, it's chaos.
Nobody wants to delve into my head. Not even my wife. even my mom knows it.
Damn.
your mom should know it. She raised you.
Yeah.
It's her fault.
Shout out, Mom.
She knows it too. Like a lot of people that come into the gym are like, they ask both of them, "Is he like this all the time?" And they're both like, "Yeah." There's no off button. Like I've already looked at like what gyms are open in LBI that I can go to.
Damn.
Or do I need to take certain equipment down to work out? Because to me, my workouts are it's not. I don't compromise. It's non-negotiable. I have to get 1 hour out of the day for me. I don't care. I need it.
How you are?
Yeah.
Starting mornings like that?
Yeah, I'll self-sabotage.
Yeah. You told me that. You're like, I can't, like, I have to work out.
Yeah, it's just not, it doesn't work.
It's not even
The
like
day doesn't work until
Yeah.
I work out.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't. I've learned the recipe, and that's just what's, everything I do is just kind of like a stacked thing on what, like, okay, this works a little bit better for me. I'm going to just keep this.
Yep.
This doesn't it. So everybody's like, oh, your day is very regimented. It's like, yeah, don't fuck with it because if you derail this train, you will not like what happens.
But isn't that the point of like having something that's like structured too?
Yeah.
Like when you know how you feel after you work out, you know how much more productive you are, you know the expectation of your day because like Mark Twain said, you have to eat a frog. And if you can eat a live frog every day, you can do anything. I'm not going to actually eat a frog, but I'm going to do the hardest task in the beginning of the day, and then everything else is just going to like dominoes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just like, like my laundry. It'll sit. If I don't fold my laundry as soon as it comes out of the dryer, it sits in a ball on the bed, and it goes from the bed to the ground, to the bed, to the ground, to the bed, till it's all gone.
Until you wear it.
Until everything's worn.
Until it's made into new laundry.
Yep, pretty much. Everything's black and gold in that pile. And
it is what it is. You
It
just wear the same thing every day, and nobody can call you out for that.
Yeah,
What
right.
do you mean?
I have a specific section in the closet of all Training for Warriors shirts.
Yeah.
Like
Tuesday.
one's
Yeah.
one's pink for breast cancer, one's black on black, one's
That's awesome.
Do you get all your gear from? Do you get that made, or do you get it through the organization? Like, how's that work?
So she's, hopefully she will listening, but shout out to my girl Kelly, because Kelly actually helped design this logo. So and I have the Coliseum tattooed on me.
Okay.
Like, that's how much I believe in what we do and the mission and the message of it. But we had our 5-year anniversary, and I know Kelly's a graphics designer. And I said, hey, can you help me come up with like a really cool gift for everybody at the holiday party this year? So she put this, obviously the whole logo together. And we got these shirts from Campus Clothes. But these are those like next level shirts.
Yeah, we only print on Next Level.
Oh, my God. They're the best.
Yep. if you give me a free shirt, this is some trash cotton, just keep it.
I have a couple of shirts from like powerlifting competitions and like gifts from people.
Yo, casual drop. Powerlifting.
That was the competitions. Okay, all right.
Hey, that's
What's your biggest deadlift?
the most I've ever done is 600.
Okay, that's a lot.
Jesus, I know that's a lot.
I like to think for my age right now, it's a lot, but I know it's not. I know it's like
A 207 guy could probably get like close to the 8s.
Yeah, and it's a powerlifting meet is one of the coolest things you can go to because the energy is so raw, and even though people are, quote unquote competing against each other, there's so much drive that you just feed off of everyone's energy. And it's like it's so addicting, and it's so cool because there is no cap on an age. Everybody's in their own weight class. Everybody's in their category. Like, I can't wait till I hit 40 because then I'm going to be in the Masters division. And then I'll be like, all right, good. I don't have to lift with the 23-year-olds that are putting up like 750, 800 pounds. And
It is what it is. What's your bench like?
bench is my weakest.
Okay.
So it's like I boast a 309 because everything in powerlifting is done in kilos.
That's insane.
The most I've ever squatted was 454.
Okay.
Which I love because I got a dead guy's ligament in my knee after that surgery, and I'm stronger than ever.
Damn.
But they're so much fun because they push you to the next one. Like, if I go to a 5K, I'm not going to place in a 5K. Are you kidding me? If because of what we do and how
But
we
if you
train.
get door kicked in,
If you need a door kick,
if it's a door kicking competition,
Yo, hit him up.
if it's you have a Hyundai on your back, like, yeah, I can get that off you.
yeah.
Like, I'm good for an emergency jack.
Yeah, seriously.
But they're fun because they're just something like you can do and train for, and you can do 1 or 2 a year and, actually like see progress over time.
Yeah, because it kind of gives you something to,
Yeah, it gives you something to show
for.
for. Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you don't have something you're working for, you're lying to yourself, and you're cheating yourself on something that is incredibly beneficial to you. Like, you should always have a goal, no matter if it's small or big. Like, you need something to. If you can sit there and you can tell me like, oh, I love myself, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself because you have done everything in your life perfectly, and you are living the dream. And if you can sit there and tell me you've done everything and achieved everything you've ever wanted, then you're not hungry enough.
Yeah. Damn. We're just gonna end it right there.
Yeah, there we go.
That's it. That was perfection right there. That was it, dude. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Dude, we're definitely gonna have to have him back especially because you're so local.
Yeah.
And now it's like I feel like we have our fitness guy.
Yeah, we do.
Dude, it was 15 minutes. It's not even 15 minutes
Yeah.
to drive from the gym. And I wanted to do it now because when you told me, June was the next time, I was like, well, shit, I don't want them to email me.
Later in June.
And I'm gone next week and I don't respond. Like, that's the other thing that I pride myself on is that when like somebody emails me or reaches out to me, I'm hitting you back like right then and there.
Yeah, I know that you had reached out, and then like I found out you were coming today, and I was like, wow, that happened quickly.
Yeah,
because we had I forget who was supposed to come in today.
Wow, it's 6:43. Holy shit.
Yeah, time
dude,
flew.
it's the headphones.
Yeah.
You put the headphones on, you're just like.
You like into the matrix of the podcast. Yeah.
We had a guy cancel for today last minute. We had a guy cancel last minute on Tuesday, or two guys that were supposed to come in on Tuesday canceled last minute. But this guy really didn't cancel that last minute. It was he tried to schedule it and then it didn't.
Yeah, it just didn't work. But
so it was cool that we were able to like fit you in before your vacation.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Like,
get it in.
It was like meant to happen, I guess. You know?
Shit happens for a reason.
Yeah.
For sure.
It really does.
We definitely have to come by and check your gym out. John, who's normally on the show with us, he just finished the 75 hard program.
How do you like it?
I think he needed it. He needed to get like
from like a mental aspect or from the physical aspect.
Oh, he's a big guy. Like
I've seen the pictures
he's a
of
big
him.
human being. He's not like he was overweight, but he's naturally a big guy.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like getting in the regiment and like having to do all the stuff every day, and it was just like kind of like
structured.
It was good structure. I think John's problem, if I had to guess, is like, he puts work and things before working out, and not everybody's enjoys lifting weights, and like that's not any
I tell people
he works incredibly hard at like so many other things in his life that
he puts himself on the back burner.
Yeah, he puts his own health like behind everything.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see he's taking his nutrition very seriously still. I'm pretty sure he's still working out. Probably not doing the 2-a-day still, but is what it
I'm
is.
gonna stay quiet on that one. 2-a-days.
Yeah.
Why do you need to work out twice a day?
I don't know. It's just the program, I guess.
Yeah.
You can make a program and we can not work out twice a day.
If you have to work out twice a day, you're not working out hard enough.
Yeah, I think it's more so.
If it's like a lift and then a cardio, like.
Well, no, I mean like if it's more so like what you're capable of.
I'm capable of a lot. I don't work out twice a day.
Yeah, no, but like if you did the 75 hard, you would have to.
But I don't need to.
Then you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's what I said when they were like, "Oh, are you gonna do it?" I'm like, "Dude, I've been doing the 75 hard for a decent amount of time here. The only areas that I really slack in is like the nutrition."
Mm-hmm.
So
I
don't know. I already have like a very structured lifestyle, at least in my opinion, and I think the 75 hard isn't necessarily like not necessarily a fitness program. More so, it's like a lifestyle structure program. So like if you don't have fitness in your program, like it'll help put it into your program.
Yeah. It's like a good.
And then you do it twice a day. Probably the thought process there was like some people need that extra like push into fitness where it's like, hey, you'll see the results from working out twice a day, and then you're like, I need to keep doing this.
I had a kid who was he's 18. He was like, I want to work out twice a day, and I was like, why? He was like, because my friends do. I was like, that's not good enough. Why? He was like, because I want to lose weight. And I was like, I do too, but I don't work out twice a day. I just push myself harder the next time. And I eat to be able to do that stuff. Like yesterday I squatted. We have this machine that helps your squat. 4 sets of 5 at 4:45. I don't want to work out a second time in the day after something like that. Like my legs are going to be shot.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go ride the bike and get some blood flow, but shoot, I'm not doing anything else after that. I got a deadlift tomorrow. You know how angry I'm going to be at myself?
Yeah, if you can't fucking get that up, yeah.
Whatever. I'll persevere. I'll do a couple of dry scoops and I'll be fine.
Yeah. Do you have a Peloton?
How much time do you have to listen to this? This will take 5 minutes. So, I hate Peloton.
Yeah.
I think it's the dumbest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't see the appeal to it. And my wife has been on the other side.
Mike, we need a Peloton.
Never asked for it. But she, so our daughter is 10 months old now. So there was a point where she was bringing her to the gym. I had my son there. I was doing Zoom class and a live class, all so she could work out. So finally I realized that my wife should not have to swallow my ideologies.
Yeah.
So I think it was her birthday or Christmas that I told her I had got her one. And the guy comes, they deliver, she's thrilled. And she's on it 4 times a week. And that makes me happy because she actually wants to use it. She wants the change.
Yeah, she's getting the use out of it.
Yeah.
It's not collecting dust.
The guy that delivered it had the saddest man bun I've ever seen. He didn't look like he picked up a barbell a day in his life.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have like a sick deadlift, bro, if you're gonna rock a bun.
He comes in and they install, and he goes, well, there's you can have 5 riders. And I said, there's only going to be 1. He goes, oh, you're not going to get on it? And I go, do I look like I'm going to get on it? Like, I made it a point, like, I don't like this. And you will never catch me fucking dead straddling that thing. And my wife's going, so my best friend that I grew up with,
Yeah.
he got his wife one too, and they're best friends now too. So he actually is the pilot for Air Force 2. So he rides it. And so my wife goes, well, don't you want to go for a ride with Mike? And I said, no. She goes, but he's your best friend. I said, I don't care. We've been riding bikes going nowhere before it was cool. Like, I'm not getting on a Peloton.
Yeah, BMX. You ever heard of it?
Yeah. It was called a Huffy. And when one didn't work, you had pegs for the other one. That's
love Huffies.
But yeah, we have it in the basement. But I refuse. I will never get on it out of pure principle.
He's like, honey, people are coming over. Put the Peloton away.
Throw the sheet over it.
Yeah, throw the sheet over it.
Dude, thanks for coming on.
No, I appreciate it.
Do you get, like, say your like Instagram things or what? Like, where can people find you?
Oh,
like, where do you want people to find you?
Oh my God, what is it? You can follow me on Instagram at Mike Subs.
Well, and then you have your company, right?
Yeah, you can follow the gym page at TFW Doylestown. And if you want a good laugh, I'm on TikTok.
Oh, nice.
You're on the talk.
Hit him on the talk.
He's
yo.
a Chinese infiltrator.
OG Mike Subs.
OG Mike Subs. There you go,
Shout
bro.
out. So this was Mike, Andrew, Gilmar, After Five Studios, No Prisoners Podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube. I'm sure you enjoyed this episode, so definitely subscribe to the YouTube and then tell your friends. We know you guys are because it keeps growing, and we thank you for it. So thanks for coming on, Mike.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
We had a good time.
Yeah,
So
we did.
Thanks for listening.